Hey everybody, welcome back to Truck Talk and Daily Talk with Jesus. I'm going to finish up that part one that I did about slipping. You know, I never seem to get this camera right. That's what I wanted to tell you. You know, as I was finishing off with that, you know, and I'm just going to touch on somebody's email that they sent me. I'm not aggressive. I'm not trying to put this image out there. It had nothing about giving the devil glory. I'm all about not giving the devil glory. I'm about to expose the devil. You know, what he's capable of doing. No matter how close we think our walk is with Jesus, where I was going with that is, you got to be careful that we don't fall into that I'm good category. Because when we fall into that I'm good category, that's what happens. You know, when your mind's distracted, you got so many things going on, and you're looking at the day and the event. But I'm not looking at the footprints that Jesus placed in front of me as he's coming back and walking with me. Let me tell you, that's where we get detoured. That's where the enemy comes in through that door. You know, he just needs a hairline crack. He puts his little baby pinky toenail in there, and he's like, what you got for me today? Do I got an opportunity to come into your life? Because we start doubting. We start disbelieving. You know, disbelief causes so many problems in our lives. Look at the disciples as they walked around. They witnessed things. The Pharisees seen things, but they didn't believe because they wanted the attention on them. I don't want the attention on me. I want the attention on Jesus. Jesus is the only one that can save you. Jesus is the only one that can heal you. He can break those chains. You just got to go up to him like the lady that touched his garment, that little piece of string off his hem. She knew in faith. I want that kind of faith. I want to keep that kind of faith. I want to know no matter what storm I go through that my anchor, Jesus, is holding. I don't have to worry about the winds. I don't have to worry about food on my table. I don't have to worry about if I'm going to have a roof over my head tomorrow. Only thing I got to worry about is if I am giving him all of myself today. Well, you may look at it and you may go, well, Nelson, you know, that's fine and dandy to say, but you don't have these problems that I'm going through right now. My spouse got laid off. My children aren't doing so good. Let me tell you, I've been through it. I've been there with you. I looked at the table, and I looked at the refrigerator, and I said, man, what in the world am I going to do? I just got to make sure my children were eating food. Oh yeah, I went to work and said, hey, can you help me out? I went to the ATM, and I knew if I was going to get hit with the charge, I'm going to get hit once, so I took out $200. I know it's going to bounce. I know I'm going to get charged, but I have no choice. But I do have a choice. Now, hold on. I had no choice. In my understanding, I filled up my tank because I knew I still had 3 days to go. Went out and bought as much food as I could for my daughter and son that was staying there with me. See, people don't know what you go through because I'm not a big open person. This is the first time that since doing these videos that I have been opened up to anybody. You know, the struggles you go through, you don't have to. Because I know today I can lift it up to Jesus. I know I can lay it at that cross. And I know I can give it to him. As my lawyer, he will go and defend me. I don't have to worry about what the nonsense somebody's going to say. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts me today because I know he is changing me. I know he is molding me. I know he is sculpting me. I know he is making me new today. And yesterday's gone. Each step I take, I don't have to worry about it because I know he's with me. And I know when I stumble, I know he's there. And I know he's not going to walk away from me, as I will not leave that pathway. So you have to understand, just because I slipped doesn't mean I'm out of his grace. It's how I respond. Lord, please forgive me for falling back into the world's ways. You know, it takes a bigger person to walk up and admit you're wrong than it does for somebody to stew on something. It takes a bigger man to lead his household and say, no, this isn't how today is going to be. I know the facts and I know what's going on. No, today changes. I lived 20-some years of that misery, and I refuse to let the devil shackle me and keep me bound. Slavery, people, just isn't what happened in the past. We didn't even learn from it. We didn't learn from it. You know why? Because we're still in that era. Because we're still living it. Instead of changing yesterday, we refuse. We want to hold yesterday. We want to hold the change. We want to hold skin color. The enemy is working, and he's doing a dang good job at it. Why? Because not because of Jesus, because Jesus paid it all. Jesus went to the cross. But what do? We uphold the devil's ways. I don't know how many people come against the fact that I call this the devil's brother. Listen, look around you. Look at what's going on. This is by far the devil's realm. There's many scriptures that points to the power and authority that the devil has over this world. Because if you can tell me that this is a godly world, I will personally, and I've said this many times, I will put that Bible away, because that means that book is a lie. Glad you asked. How do I know? I know because of how my life has changed. I know that I'm still sitting here and I have breath in me. I should have been dead I don't know how many times. And I mean dead. I should not be here. No one could survive coming out of the trunk of a car. Suicide by hanging. Pulling a gun out of your mouth and bullets firing as soon as you pull it out, but it never fired in my mouth. Garage door opening by itself. Garage door opened when I released the chain, brought the mechanism back up to the motor, and all of a sudden the mechanism starts moving, hooks to the door, and opens it again. You explain that one to me. Because when you can explain all this and convince me that Jesus is not real and our Heavenly Father does not sit on that throne and everything I seen was just one heck of a dream and vision, you'll never do it. Never. When you convince me what I seen in hell doesn't exist, I'm going to take you down a bigger journey. Because I still have to go back into that one. And I'm glad the Lord kind of led me out of it for a little bit. It's difficult. It's really difficult to go into that pits of hell. But I tell you right now, people need it more than ever. You know, we don't need this quiet talk. We don't need this time right now that we're coming out here and going, one day he's coming. Well, when is that one day? What if it's right now? What if it? Are you ready? Are you still too busy planning for your vacation and packed your bags for that? My bags are packed. It's ready for heaven. I went and got a first class ticket because he called me to the front. He said, "Come here, Nelson." I said, "Yes, my Lord." I see you got your breastplate on. I see you got your shoes buckled tight. I see you got your helmet on. I see you got your belt of righteousness buckled up. I see you picked up your shield. But where's your sword? Lord, I lay my sword behind you. You are my strength. I think of the Bible verse where it says, when you told the disciples, my Lord, go out there, take nothing with you. I don't have to take any swords anymore. I don't have to hold up that shield. I don't have to put on that breastplate. Because I know he went before me. I know he gave it all up for me. And he did it for you. If you do not know him and you'd like to get closer, I'm about to tell you how. You just got to stop letting the devil fool your mind. You want a better life, but you can't figure out how to get it, and you're running around in circles. When are you going to get off that hamster wheel and realize it's a hamster wheel, and it's not the way of life? You may say, well, Nelson, that's all good and dandy. I don't have time to do all this. Okay. And I'm just going to give you something right back. How much television do you watch? How much time do you spend on your phone? How much time do you spend working out at the gym? How much time do you spend volunteering and doing something? How much time do you spend hanging out with your friends? How much time do you spend doing whatever else that you do in life? How much time do you put into all that, and how much time did you put into the Jesus meter? Or do you think just saying a simple prayer? Well, Jesus did give us a simple prayer. Our Father, thou in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, here on earth as it is heaven. Forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass. I think it goes before that. Give us this day our daily bread. I always get that part mixed up. But you know, look how simple that is. We throw everything on the table saying a simple prayer. We don't have to go to God with all these big words. We don't have to know the encyclopedia to go there. Because you know why? He made us the way that we are. He molded and sculpted us in our mother's womb. He knew us before we were born. Well, I tell you what, that's enough for me. Is it enough for you? Well, Nelson, I walk, but I keep stumbling. Because you're leaving cracks. Men, if you're seeing the stumbles, you should be upholding. If you're in a godly house, don't just say, I'm a Christian. I ain't gonna save you. Are you Christ-like? Are you truly Christ-like? Are you guarding your family? Are you protecting them? Are you leading them up? Are you setting the bars even higher to where it reaches up to Him? Are you making sure your children are doing the right things? Well, they're going to be mad at me. Well, my kids are mad at me all the time. Because I was their father before I was their friend. You may do everything right. It takes the devil to get a hold of your children for them to pull away. Because he does what? The opposite of what God did. God loved. So he sent his only begotten son. What does the devil do? He goes after your children. Because why? Because they're your children. You love them. You disagree with things, but it's okay. When the children starts becoming the parent and you're bowing under the child, you got a balance mixed up. You got an order way mixed up. When you uphold children over your spouse, you definitely got something mixed up. When you're putting your children above the love of Jesus, you have really better to take a step back. When you put your daily needs above Jesus, well, Nelson, I like to go to the gym with my buddies. Really? That's awesome. Nothing wrong with that. What's your children doing? What's your wife doing? Does she go to work? Does she stay home? Just because you got a stay-at-home person these days, could be a husband, could be a wife. I'm not coming against any of that. I remember one winter there was no snow, so I had to go on unemployment. And I stayed home with the children. And actually, I enjoyed it. It was nice seeing them come home if they didn't want to go to the Boys and Girls Club. They really didn't have to then because I was home. They didn't want to go there and they wanted to come home. It was nice to sit down and watch them do their homework and goof off and have some fun. It was always different when it was just us. As soon as the mother stepped into the equation, it changed. You know, I should have figured out something then. Water and oil doesn't mix. Good and evil. I was evil. But somewhere down inside was that little tiny seed. And God was watering it daily. Look at today. I'm so glad whoever spent their time praying for me back then and still prays. I'm very thankful. Because I know I was hell-bound. I know I had chains that I would never be able to break. I'm not capable of breaking those chains. And when I got in there and I seen what awaited, let me tell you, when you're standing there staring outwards and that feeling comes over you, this is the rest of my life. That is the worst pain I have ever felt. The hopelessness. I don't have any control. I never will have control over my life. I'm not capable. See, that's the day that my life changed in a way that I didn't realize until later on in life. That's how God taught me to rely on Jesus and to lay it all at Him and give Him the control. Now I tell you, I still hold on. And I still, even sometimes today, when I'm running the household, I go into areas where I'm like, oh, okay. And I just buckle under. But I know it's the right things to do. And I just pray and lift it up to Jesus. Maybe my wife's right. Let me go pray. At least I'm praying. At least I'm delivering it to Jesus to let me know what to do from this moment forward. And He did. He opens the door. Here you go now. Go this way. See, I gotta be able to sit long enough to listen to Him. I gotta be able to sit to listen when I'm in a conversation, or if I walk into a conversation. I don't need to speak right away. I just need to listen. You can hear the chatter. If it's not a godly chatter, maybe you shouldn't be there. See, the devil wants to become your friend. He wants to send people in there to become your friend. And the whole time they're already scheming of what they're going to do. Nothing wrong with having a success in life, and a good career, working hard to achieve. But when it becomes an idol, and when it becomes more, think about all this forgiveness right now going on with these school loans and all this stuff. People, it's not free. If you really think this is, look at all of the property taxes going up. Look at all the fuel going up. Where do you think all that free money is going to? Yeah. Some of you, the light bulb's going off right now. You may not own a home yet, but you will. Is it that your goal in life, if you're fresh into college, out of high school, you're thinking about your wedding, thinking about that picket white fence in front of your house? Well, maybe not so much anymore, because that's the thing of the past. Smart homes, granite countertops. Let me tell you something about a granite countertop. When you place that sink on the surface and you put the countertop over top of it, good luck changing that thing. You may say, Nelson, what are you talking about? Well, you got to pull that granite countertop off if anything ever happens to that sink to replace it. I would never do it because you got to secure that thing down. I will never ever. I actually had somebody call me, wanted me to replace the sink under a granite countertop, and I said no, thank you. I don't want to be responsible if that thing cracks or breaks. Oh, I guess the cracking the brakes the same thing. But I don't want to be responsible to pay to replace that ridiculous thing. I know my limitations. I've learned it year after year after year. I know what the Lord expects. It's up to me to go through the day and to make sure that I got Him with me. I don't ever want to look back anymore and say, well, Lord, where are you? He says, I'm way back here, about 16 miles where you left me. Am I human? Yes. I'm human because I show you. I tell you the things. They say, well, Nelson, what if? What if what? What are we what ifing? There is no what ifs with God. There's what ifs with the devil. Hold on, folks. My refrigerator flew open. Oh, what a mess. But it's okay. Messes can be cleaned up. Look at me. I was a mess. You cleaned me up. That's the power of it. That refrigerator back here, I don't know if anybody ever, some of you people may know truckers or whatever. These trucks that they put these factory refrigerators got a plastic door to make it look like the rest of the doors back here. You wouldn't even really know it looks like a cabinet. You wouldn't know because it looks like just like the regular cabinets. Yeah, like you can see them. But the latch sometimes in those things, some people slamming them or whatever. I just need to try to tighten up the screws, lift it up and tighten the screws and see if that works. But anyways, you know, what we do in life, we have to keep Jesus with us. We got to keep God in the center. God's got to keep us balanced. Just think of a big giant pin, a rod in the middle, and you hook a string off of it. Without that rod in the middle, you could never hook the strings to make a complete circle. Maybe like a tree or something. You ever see people put the rod down, hit the string, and they strings of light off of that, and it goes around and it makes a Christmas tree? So, where do we go? What do we do? If you feel yourself slipping, call on Jesus. The best advice I can give you. Call on the true one, the only one that can give you the peace. But you got to be willing to sit there and listen. Take in what he's saying. We don't spend a lot of time doing it. Some days I wake up in the morning and I lay there and I start going, Jesus. It's about all I can get out some mornings. But then the next words flow after that. Come into my day. I surrender. What more can you do? Push on. Go through life with him. I keep going back over these things in life because the Lord just keeps laying it on me. Get a hold of your family. Get a hold of your children. Fathers, it's time to be a father. It's time to stand up. Don't let these kids run around on these streets. Because in the end, reality. You know what the sad part is? Hell's getting fuller and fuller. If you ever read the Bible and it comes up to that point, the pathway to heaven is narrow. It doesn't have to be. So let me ask you this. If you know that pathway to heaven is narrow, are you on it? Are you in that narrow slot? Or are you in the big open? Big open of hell? I've always wondered, even as a young boy, I've always wondered this. To me, hell was all around us. And it is. Before I even seen physical. If life is this horrible and this painful, and this God is real, I need to find him. I didn't know how. I didn't know how to find him. You got to remember, I went to churches and they turned me away. So how do I find this God? How do I figure out who this Jesus is? Well, all I knew is that I heard a sermon where a guy was teaching about hell. He said, nothing that you go through here on this earth, he said, will compare to hell. I got thinking, well, if this earth is this painful, and this earth is this mean, this disgusting, then what is hell? But you gotta be careful, because I didn't know back then the words had power. I didn't know that we could speak things. I did know that I could say chains. I did know I could call on demons. I did know that I could play with the Ouija board. It's just a game. Is it? What about all them video games people are playing? Where you're out there shooting up stuff or you're shooting zombies. Grand Theft Auto teaches you how to steal, teaches you how to pick up prostitutes, stealing cars, robbing stuff. The more you do all this, the more you're building your own empire, playing the mafia games. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday. Not a very good Italian accent, but get the point. You start becoming what you do. You start becoming what you see. I remember watching the oldest boy start to develop the bad patterns. Couldn't tell him nothing. Listen to all this different music and, anger, mad. I remember the time when his father wouldn't say he was coming, wouldn't pick him up. Well, I also can relate to that. And I knew what he was going through. But the backlash that came at me, I took it. I took it till I couldn't take it no more. I tried to love him as much as I could possibly love him. Even when it became so difficult. Sometimes when you exile somebody out of your life, it's up to you to open back up that door. Or maybe God just closed it out in general. Because maybe the devil has a stronghold so tough on it. See, I have a lot of disbeliefs, people. There's a lot of things that I just shake my head, and it's like I'm not there to judge, but dang it, I don't understand how these people can go around having all these kids with different women and sit on your rumpus all day. Where did all that gangster thug life get you? Running the streets, making your own little gangs, beating up old people, breaking into people's homes. All it got you was a rap sheet. And not a rap sheet of songs that the devil's going to give you where you're going to make lots of money. Well, let me tell you what, that lots of money has a price. A big price to pay. See, Jesus paid the price. He paid the price for us on that cross. His blood was shed. He gave up his earthly life to have the eternal life brought back so he could go and prepare a place for us. People disbelieve. I don't believe there's children in heaven. I don't believe there's animals in heaven. I don't believe, well, you know what the problem is? You're right. I agree with one thing you're saying. I don't believe. You don't believe. You don't believe because you're not like that woman that has been through every situation that she could possibly go to, pay up every dime that she has, flat broke, down on her luck, beyond what anybody could go through. I can imagine bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. I mean, you ever been around dried up blood? It smells. Can you imagine living that over and over and over? Can you imagine what that woman went through? Can you imagine how people practically pulled away from her? Maybe made fun of her? As if she's not going through enough. She probably lost everything. Her home and everything. Well, let me tell you, I don't know, thoughts come to my head, even back then. Well, if you lost everything, you have nowhere to live, nobody's letting you live with them because maybe I'm right. Maybe the smell was too bad. They're like, I just can't deal with this. So where do you clean up at? Well, it's not like they had a 7-Eleven down the road here, or a Pilot. You can go in there and get a shower. I would probably say a lake, river, something. That's what I did. But why wouldn't that woman do it? But if she doesn't have any money, then how's she going to get a clean garment? She's going to figure out a way to try to wash it. Where's all the people? All these people that could be helping her. I wonder if Jesus ever sits back and goes, well, I was put in chains. I was beaten. I was beaten worse than anybody on this earth. I don't hear Jesus standing up there yelling, I'm owed something. And I know this is going to ruffle some people, and I know this is going to cause some strife. Take it up with Jesus. Don't take it up with me. Because you need to let yesterday go. You need to get on your knees and start speaking to the man that gave it all. You need to get on your knees and start speaking to the man that gave us the all. The great I am of the I am. He's the only one that can help you. He's the only one that can save you. He's the only one that can change your today. You may say, well, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, well, pretty good ain't good enough. Pretty good isn't going to get you into heaven. Well, why in the world would I want to go through all these rules? Well, now you're letting the devil talk to you. See, the devil doesn't care if there's rules. He doesn't care. When you were a child growing up, you had rules. When you go to work, do you not follow rules? Or if not, you'll be fired. There's rules everywhere. As long as world rules don't overpower Jesus and God's rules, I'm okay with it. When it does, I stop doing it. I'll take it. I'll take it no matter what the consequence is, because I know His way is the only way. Today, day one. Let's start today. Day one. I want you to visualize right now as big as if you were standing outside from the ground, the high as you can see in the air, and as far as you can see to your right, and as far as you can see to your left. I want you to picture a dry erase board with your life on it, even your future. That's why I want you to go way out there and way to the left as far as you can see. Now picture God's hand with Jesus' robe that He had on, saturated with blood, and wiping that dry erase board clean. Today's a new start. Today is a new day. Forget about the New Year's and when you go, well, this year I'm going to work out more. Yeah, you know how many people say that? This year I'm going to try to do better things. Yeah, do a few things and then I did it. Change starts today. You have a clean board. God, wipe the clean for you. Today is the day that we bring Jesus into our life. I don't care how long you've been a Christian. I don't care if you've never been one. Whoever is watching this, I'm doing it today. Who's with me? We're going to stop the roller coaster. We're going to stand out there in that desert. And we're going to wipe this board and watch it be wiped clean. And the first thing that I want written on that board is day one. Today, I lay it all at His feet. Every single part. Second thing I'm going to ask for to be put on that board. Help me, Lord Jesus. Send protection around me. And let me hear and see before I open my mouth today. Lead me according to your plans and purpose. or stop me from making one footstep. And also I may lose my job. Maybe you need to. I may lose my house. I'm in bad trouble right now. Yeah. Some people may have house problems that they didn't take on their own. They've been through a divorce. It could be through separations, which still doesn't mean, well, I say it like that because you might not have been married. Here you go. Signing off to you. Thank you. Thank you for leaving me with a headache. It's not the right way to be. Instead, give it to the Lord. Place it up for sale. I know you sure might get mad and say, well, now we gotta move. I don't want to move. Sometimes we can't help it. But maybe that move is necessary. Maybe the move away from all your past is the right thing for you. God doesn't make mistakes. We do. But Jesus is always there to help us clean it up, though, isn't he? So what are you giving Jesus today? What are you lifting up to God today? Your wicked tongue? Backlashing people? Destroying people? The devil knows how to put the wrong people into your life. Well, I'm going to witness. See, I do everything until Jesus tells me to walk away. Everything. Whether people understand it or not. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Getting ready to go, I'm heading into Indianapolis. Sometimes I dread coming into Indianapolis. It's like going into Atlanta, Georgia. The GPS, you gotta love it. See, when you go, I'm just even gonna bring this up. When you go off of understanding of the world's way, see, I gotta follow this GPS because I sure don't know every route on. A lot of them I'm getting very good at knowing every day because you travel some of the same roads. It's like I don't need to know where Walmart is. I remember when we first moved to Florida, I got lost. I don't think I even took my cell phone with it. And I'm driving around. I said, man, I know it wasn't that far away from the house. Well, I made the wrong turn. And sometimes we go off of this GPS, and this GPS pauses, doesn't keep up fast enough. I don't understand why it doesn't, but it's like the devil's realm. If we're not focused on what we're doing, look what happens.
3/4 of a mile, take exit 299 on the right.
What happens is he leads us to the wrong pathway. Being what I'm going through right now. I gotta go all the way down here, get off, and get back on. So, what pathway are you on?
Speed limit reduced ahead.
Hopefully you're on a good
First
one.
exit on the right.
Hopefully you're standing there and everybody's ready to get back on this roller coaster so we can continue on this journey. So it's okay if you find yourself slipping, stumbling a little bit. Take a deep breath. Just call out Jesus.
Turn at the first left onto Huntington
He's always
Road.
there. So God bless you guys today. Let the Lord illuminate your steps and let Him walk with you. And let each day and each step that you take be full of His glory. God bless you guys.